What is good, y'all? I am Miza Kodasaki here with you today to do a short form content. I told you that the face cam was going to come back soon. Now, before we get started with the actual conversation, no, this isn't replacing the still animated Avatar videos. I'm still going to do those. It's just for short form of content when I talk about news and maybe talk about the trailer talks, which I want to bring back very soon. It's just easier to do it this way. It's just that way we can get it out, and that way I can fill my 3 videos a week quota that I want. It's a lot easier to do this for shorter videos that don't necessarily need all that work that I can just ramble off and be like whatever about. So yeah, I will be doing this for primarily mostly news. If I want to talk about trailer talks, I might do this in a different format from talking about what I want to watch during the seasons and all that stuff. Things that don't necessarily need a full breakdown or a full actual talk and stuff like that. So that's what I want to do with this. But yeah, on to the actual topic for this video. So as many of you know, there was rumors going around that Bleach was actually being acquired by Disney. Now this was actually some legitimately big news because a big, streaming service like Disney Plus picking up Bleach was kind of crazy, honestly. And I think it's pretty much been all but confirmed, like soft confirmed or something like that Disney will be exclusively streaming on the Disney Plus. Now, I thought about making a video about this because, I care about Bleach. I like Bleach. I don't have much Bleach content on here, so I thought I'd at least talk about it. My last name is literally Kurosaki. If you didn't know that I'm a big fan of Bleach, then I mean, that's on you. But I'm not gonna, call it the creator, and I'm not gonna call it the video, but there was a video that I watched on stream, like a few days ago, and it just really, I don't know, it just really got to me, because I don't know if this is a thing that's been echoed in the other community. Like, I don't know if people in the anime community see this as a bad thing. So I thought I'd at least share my opinion, get more of a, I don't want to say logical based opinion, but opinion that I feel like has a little bit more see-through to the reality of everything. Now, I think the big thing that everyone gets confused with this is that I feel like they think this is going to turn into like a 4Kids situation where Disney's going to take the property and just either massively change it or massively dub over it or censor a bunch of things. I think what people fear the most is Disney taking something like Bleach and basically having what 4Kids did to One Piece and just making it so Americanized and just so different from the original product that it's just no longer the original product. It's just its own thing. Now, from what I understand correctly, this is not the case. Disney only has exclusivity when it comes to streaming, so it won't be able to dub stuff, it won't be able to do stuff. There is maybe potentially a chance that it might dub over something, that it might censor some things. I'm not 100% sure because I don't know if streaming it on Disney Plus is different from it being streamed in like Japanese TV overseas, or being streamed on Crunchyroll, if Crunchyroll has some stuff, because Crunchyroll does censor some stuff depending on the content. They're borderline ecchi, not ecchi type of thing, the ecchi anime type of things. But as far as I consume, Disney is not going to be changing or altering this aggressively, or at least the property itself won't be pulling a 4Kids. So that is at least the good thing. But I think the bigger conversation around this, and I don't see many people actually having this is basically Disney's real big attempt to try to get a foothold into the anime community or into the anime industry. Now, I didn't know this, but apparently Disney Plus does have some anime on it, and I want to check it out eventually. But the biggest thing that I remember, at least anime related, coming from Disney itself was Star Wars Visions. And to be fair, that was a huge project where it got just a bunch of studios that we all know and love, Madhouse, A1 Pictures, Tricker Studio, and Mappa and all that stuff, and they all had it was a whole, what do you call those, anthology series of just little Star Wars lore bits, and it was legitimately a really cool concept. They're coming out with a season 2 soon, I don't know when, But at least from like my experience, I didn't hear many people actually talk about it. Like away from the initial announcement of Star Wars Visions, I never heard anyone actually talk about Star Wars Visions outside of that, and outside of like friend groups of people I know personally who are like huge Star Wars fans. So like I did not see the source or place for it. Like I didn't even see it under radar of like anything. Now, if Disney wants to attempt to actually get a proper, more bigger foothold, I think this is a step in the right direction. But at least with Disney being as big as it was, and you know, it having as much money as it does, at least has a few options, a few avenues that it can go to actually be, you know, actually get a decent hold on like a place in the anime industry. Now, at least in terms of the streaming world, it's not going to be easy, because on the Western front at least, you have places like Netflix that's coming out with its own original stuff and licensing its own stuff, and then we have like Crunchyroll that is just the big go-to place for anime, and like everyone just goes there. Like, I don't know, you either have a Crunchyroll or you just pirate off of a site. That's just how it works. And then on the Eastern front, that's just like a whole other different avenue of things where you like going against studios and the actual like Japanese streaming sites, and they use Netflix and Crunchyroll as well, I assume. Like it's just the whole thing. Like the anime industry itself is already pretty established, but Disney is, at least like I said, is big enough and has enough money to actually make an attempt to actually break through and stake its claim somewhere. And like I said before, it has a couple of options. Now, if it really wants to be aggressive and fucking scare the shit out of everybody, what it could do is start buying up studios. And not like super big studios, because like there's no way they're buying out like Mappa or Kyoku Ani or UFO Table or someone that at least has established stuff. Like, I don't even think they're buying out stuff like the fucking, what is it, I can't remember how you pronounce it, but it's the one that has like Bleach and Naruto. To be fair, that's also a fairly big one, so they have, you know, Bleach and Naruto. And I think they have Black Clover too, but I'm not 100% about that. But like smaller ones that people don't really talk about, like the studios that make the mid to low range animations, I feel like it can buy up those and maybe like just merge them into like one big fucking studio. Another big thing I also see Disney potentially doing with this is that it could be a big outsourcer for like its own project. So if it doesn't want to do like the animation quality, it can pay some of these studios to like make an anime adaptation of some of like their big properties. Like, how cool, you can't deny that having like an anime version of like fucking Cinderella or Pocahontas or fucking Mulan. Bro, imagine if we had an anime adaptation of Mulan. You can't deny that wouldn't be like sick, or at least somebody wouldn't be interested in that, because that would be lit, and that would be right up their alley, because they could draw from a lot of the, you know, Asian inspiration that comes with that. I know it's a different type of Asian. I know that's Chinese and that's Japanese. I get it. I know. I'm not trying to be like stupid racist here, but that's not wrong either. Jesus, I don't know where I'm going with that. But if it wanted to try to get anime onto its platform without being super intrusive and without like being like scaring everyone to shit, but at the same time supporting itself and supporting the community at the same time, and supporting the industry at the same time, it can just outsource a bunch of projects to these studios. And I can guarantee you that Disney could give enough money to any of these studios to make a fucking banger. Especially if Disney is knocking on your door and asking, hey, can I go to play, you want to make this project of our like original Disney IP? Bro, I can guarantee you multiple studios would drop everything just to try to make that, because that sounds like the biggest cash pay or biggest like payday of like any type of studio's entire life. It could try the option of trying to buy as many anime it could, like it did with Bleach, and just like, because there's hundreds of fucking anime out there. I would assume that some studio, if Disney walked along and be like, hey, give us that. You're giving us this fucking, it's being put on Disney Plus without a question. 9 out of 10 times, any type of fucking studio is going to accept that money. Now the question is, if it's worth them putting it on Disney Plus, because Disney Plus, while it has some other anime apparently on its like streaming service, and it's gonna have Bleach, and it has Star Wars Visions, and it has some other things. It's not primarily known as the hub for anime. If you want streaming services that are like the hub for anime, that's High Dive. There's another one I can't remember. There's Netflix. There's Crunchyroll. Even Funimation, even though it's technically gone, that's still around. Like, I think people would still go to Funimation over like Disney Plus due to the fact that Funimation is just a more well-known, established anime hub. Like, it would have to drop a considerable amount of money to get anything worthwhile for people to watch. Like, you would have to pay attention to so many other things and so many other aspects just to know like what's going to pop off. And even then, you don't even really know. There's some shows that people don't think are going to pop off and do. There's some shows that pop off and, you know, they correctly pop off. There's some shows that don't pop off and they don't. There's shows that people think they're going to pop off and they fucking suck. Like, it happens. It's a gamble when picking up these shows because you don't know what the fuck is going to pop up. You don't know if it's going to translate well. You don't know if it's going to be good. Half the time you kind of know because it has a fan base. Like, it would need to pick up animes that have like a considerable high fan base. Basically animes, well, sorry, not animes, but mangas that have big like sales to it. And while, yes, that's obviously the type of thing you would do, and also in the translation, though, it doesn't happen all the time, and sometimes it never turns out well, so it's still somewhat of a gamble. And then the one thing you could do, however, I think this might be the worst option that they have, is they can start creating their own anime in-house, because obviously Disney's Disney. Disney knows how to make fucking animations. Who says they can't create a side studio that just wants to make an anime style versus like for certain stuff? Here's the thing, however. Here is the problem that I have with that. I'm pretty sure they may, I'm not 100% sure, but they might have to set up, or they may already have set up, a different studio in Japan to do that if it wants to be recognized properly. And I say that because of how the anime community, not the industry, but the anime community itself views anime. And it's part of overall why I don't think that Disney, like getting Bleach and trying to get into the anime industry, is a bad thing. It's because people associate art with location. The only thing that we do this with is music, somewhat. Like, obviously, like there's rock, but people will be like, oh yeah, there's J-rock, or there's Latin rock, or there's this rock, and it's just like, does it really have to be its own genre if it's just coming from a different place? Because the only thing that's really changing, other than maybe the sound and maybe some inspiration from its own culture, is like they just speak a different language. It's like the only thing. And like, even then, things don't really transfer differently. Like, there is some subtle differences to like J-rock and rock and all that stuff with that, but I don't know. It's a whole other nitpick, but for a whole other type of conversation. But what I'm trying to get at is that anime doesn't necessarily have to be exclusive to Japan. Yes, I get it. The thing that makes it, part of, Japan is that it's its culture and its thing. And I get that. But you can still make anime from other places without robbing it away from the culture of the people. I feel like this is a very extraneous thing that people like to do, where they're just like, well, it's not from Japan. It doesn't necessarily have to be from Japan. I could give you an anime that looks like an anime, that talks like an anime, that walks like an anime, and it could be from someone else. And the moment that you tell anybody that it comes from somewhere else, they're just going to think it's not anime. Now, there's obviously some few exceptions to that where like people debate on it. For example, I always thought that you could technically count Ruby, the Rooster Teeth version, as like an anime. Technically kind of meh, but with it getting an adaptation this season coming out, obviously now we have a definitive answer of if it's an anime adaptation or not. It's not, obviously. My thing with it is this could be a really good thing to at least break that barrier, and Disney actually force the question of what the fuck counts or what the fuck is even meant to be anime, which that's what I kind of want this era to be. It's not a reaffirming of that, but a breaking of like what exactly counts as anime, or what can we consider anime away from just it being location based. And I know this got very far and very detached from the actual like Bleach conversation, but overall, circling back to the whole actual Bleach being on Disney Plus, for Disney overall, it's a good thing. It opens a lot of questions. It opens a lot of doors. There's a lot of possibilities that can happen. For Bleach, however, I don't necessarily think that this is a good thing. Like I mentioned before, Bleach is, a pretty big anime. And with it not being on a central anime hub like Crunchyroll or even Netflix for that matter, I wonder how many people are going to go out of their way to actually acquire Disney Plus if they don't already have it already, to actually sit down and watch Bleach. Because I know a lot of people who see this and they're just saying, well, I'm just gonna pirate it. I'm not fucking spending more money on another streaming service just to watch one anime. And that's why I question why the studio agreed to this now. And I would have to also assume that Disney had to have thrown a shit ton fucking money at like the studio in order to actually get this exclusivity deal. Like, it's one thing to just have the anime on your site and it being on other places, but for you to go out of your way to get it exclusively on your platform, a big three nonetheless, that's a lot of money. That is a shit ton of money being thrown at a studio. There's no fucking way. Especially since the studio more is being at risk because now it's on a platform that isn't predominantly controlled by anime. A lot of anime fans probably don't even have Disney Plus and or are not going to go out of their way to acquire Disney Plus. They'll probably either just pirate it or do something else or find another way to watch it, or maybe go as far as to ask their friends for their Disney Plus so they can try to watch it. Like, I doubt this will bring more revenue to Disney Plus's platform. And if it does, I'm willing to sit there and be completely wrong. But at least from the studio side, I don't really see this being a benefit. If anything, this might hurt the new arc coming out because there was a lot of hype for this. The 1,000-year Bloodwork arc is some of people's favorite arc in fucking Bleach. And I don't completely understand why, apart from a few things, because there's a lot of things that frustrate me in that arc as well. However, a lot of people like it. And obviously, like I said, I keep saying it, Bleach is part of the big three. Everyone's going to at least want to know or watch what the fuck this is about. Like, Bleach coming back in 2022, what the fuck? Yeah, let me go. Let me watch that shit. Hell yeah. So for it not being on the central hub, it worries me. I hope that it can still perform. I hope that it can still have numbers. So, I don't know. We'll have to just see overall. And yeah, that's just kind of the overall discussion that is like surrounding Bleach. There's a lot to it. This is a lot longer video than I was expecting it to be. But it's whatever. I'm okay with it. It's not a review, and I'm not doing a whole fucking breakdown and stuff, so it's fine. I'm okay with this being kind of like a whatever type of review. Let me know what else I can talk about if there's like a topic, stuff like that. Not reviews and not breakdowns of like other things that need a little bit more time, obviously. But go ahead and check out my social media, my projects, all that shit's gonna be the link in the description below. I appreciate all of you. I love my DJs, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, people. My dick is so small, it's leaking molecular. Finger game though is fucking spectacular. It's really dude, I'm playing these games, but I get no bitches though. Well, that's a shame. Fat and lazy, yeah, that is the MO. Asked a girl out and she said, no, hold up, bro, did she get the memo? Bitch, your best thing. He take a mental, told the man to let his knees grow. Then he told me to shut up, you Negro. Then I told him to get on his knees though. Set my dick off like we were at Tito's. People keep telling me I'm too crazy. Throw them out cause I'm feeling lazy. I don't know, man, I'm feeling just hazy. Fuck Martha Stewart, oh man, that's amazing.